why is there this assumption that the Patriots are in the quarterback market? And that's pat ourselves on the back here. Trust me, we get a lot of things wrong. A lot of things wrong. It's not that hard to go back to any show you want, clip something I said, and it turned up being wrong. But I want to say this. This is the one thing we got right. I want to point it out, not as a bragging perspective or not to kind of, make myself feel better, but because I thought the writing was on the wall and it was obvious. As soon as Tom Brady decided to leave New England and go to Tampa Bay, on that show we said Jarrett Stidham is going to be the starting quarterback. For 2020 at least. Not the franchise guy. Not the guy to, possibly be the next Tom Brady for the next 20 years. He's going to be the quarterback for 2020, and from there, they'll reset after the year. If he plays well, they can go forward. If not, they'll reset. And there's a few dead giveaways I thought that made it obvious, where it's not a hot take or I was really going out on a limb and saying Jarrett Stidham is going to be the quarterback. Bill Belichick told you what he's going to do. The writing was on the wall already. That's why I'm so surprised that so many people keep putting the Patriots in the conversation for Andy Dalton, for Jameis Winston, for Cam Newton, for drafting a quarterback this last week. I don't get it, because the Patriots were never going to move from the quarterback room they have now, and here's why. Once the season was over, and again, once Tom Brady left, goes to Tampa Bay, teammates already started coming out and discussing their belief and their confidence in Jarrett Stidham. Devin McCourty, one of the leaders on this team, he's been there a while, expressed extreme confidence when he was on a podcast with his twin brother, about talking about his confidence he has in Jarrett Stidham. He went out of his way to compliment them about how well he played in practice. And he said there were some times that he carved them up in practice, and that led to a great defensive outing that week because Jarrett Stidham had his way with the defense in practice that week leading up to the game. And we know the Patriots defense was one of the best this year in 2020. They were great. The scoring defense was unreal. All three levels were tough to peg. And again, the Patriots had, for their offense being pedestrian, the Patriots had a great defense. So to have Jarrett Stidham carve you up in practice says something. And even more telling, Devin McCourty went on to say, again, he wasn't asked about it. He's on a podcast with his twin brother. So it's not like he was doing an interview or was going out of his way to say lies or maybe say fake confidence that he doesn't believe in him just to try to make him feel better. Said he believes Stidham's going to be in New England for a while. Bill Belichick, after the draft on Sunday, said he had confidence in Stidham. In New England, you rarely see players and coaches speak out about one individual player to hype them up. Right? Bill Belichick does this for opposing teams, try to get them feeling good. Sort of like what we saw with Michael Jordan, talking up guys, talking about how great they are in order to kind of build their confidence, maybe get a sense of complacency, and then just destroy them on the court. Bill Belichick would do the same thing. He would heap praises towards the other team, talk about how great they are, their execution. It's going to be a really tough challenge for their defense this week. Then they go out and kill the team and beat them by 40. Rarely, though, does Bill Belichick talk about his own team, hype up his own players, because Bill Belichick has instilled the Patriot way, which is about the team is more important than an individual. So if you keep telling an individual that they are not as great as the team or they are not better than the team, players will maybe have no reason to search for a new contract, or maybe their self-worth wouldn't be inflated. So you rarely see from New England players and coaches hyping up and talking about players publicly in a positive light. And I really do believe, I don't think Devin McCourty is saying that Jarrett Stidham carved him up in practice, that he thinks Jarrett Stidham is going to be in New England for a long time. If he knew Jarrett Stidham was going to be replaced, if he knew Bill Belichick was actually looking for a replacement, or if he knew that Jarrett Stidham was flat out going to stink, right? If he knew that the Patriots are going to go out in 2020 with Jarrett Stidham as a quarterback, one way or another, and that he wasn't good, it's going to be a bad year, and that this guy's going to be replaced maybe halfway through the year, I don't think he's going out and saying that. I don't think he's going out and hyping him up and talking about, that they believe in him and that he's going to be the guy and they're excited that he's going to take over the team in 2020. So I think all that public praise from players and coaches was a dead giveaway that Jarrett Stidham is going to be the guy in 2020. We're not saying for 5 years or 10 years. We're saying right now, this upcoming season, he's going to be the guy, see what they have going forward, and then reassess after 2020 when you have a full year's worth of tape to see if he could be a franchise player going forward in that. Another reason why I don't peg any of these free agent quarterbacks or draft quarterbacks in the draft, I should say, for New England, is because Bill Belichick is not interested in a short-term stopgap or guys that would change or clash with the culture. I think Jameis Winston, you bring him in, he is a culture clasher. Right? The Patriot way is only fit for some players. Not everyone can play there. We've seen players try to fit in and it doesn't work out. Bill Belichick gets rid of them. Doesn't work. So I don't think Jameis Winston would have been a guy that could have constantly taken negative pressure, negative criticism from Bill Belichick. Not to mention, I don't think Bill Belichick is going to willingly sign up for a player that threw 30 interceptions last year. That's not what Bill Belichick believes on offense. He's not going to put his defense out there 30 extra times in bad yard field position because Jameis can't read a defense or can't make a great decision. I think Andy Dalton would have been a stopgap quarterback. I mean, he's still pretty young, but do I see Andy Dalton staying in New England for 5-7 years? I don't. Same with Cam Newton. Not to mention Cam Newton, I think, would have been a culture clasher because he is a me personality, right? With the outfits that he has on, with the post-game press conferences, he is about himself and putting the attention on himself, which is the complete antithesis and the complete opposite of the Patriot way up there in New England. So all these guys, at least on the free agent market, are short-term stopgaps, or they clash with the culture, neither of which Bill Belichick is dealing with. And the final thing I thought that was a dead giveaway for sure was that the Patriots re-signed Brian Hoyer. I thought that was a dead giveaway that Stidham's going to have the job in 2020. Because if you're going to have a young quarterback, you need an experienced backup veteran quarterback that knows the system, that's played in New England, that knows the expectations, that can help teach Stidham the offense, can help groom him to be ready to what to expect. Like, this is a huge undertaking, by the way. Stepping in for Tom Brady, guy who's been there for 2 decades, won 6 Super Bowls, gone to 9. And the face of the franchise, him and Bill Belichick, turned the entire New England franchise around from perpetual losers to just another franchise to one of the pristine and one of the premier franchises in all the NFL. So this is no this is no easy task of walking in to replace the guy. So you need at least an experienced backup to get Stidham ready, teach him what he needs to know. He's been in the Josh McDaniels offense a ton. So I'm going to be a big resource to bounce questions off of. And not to mention, if Stidham is ineffective, if he gets hurt, you can put Brian Hoyer in there and at least know that he's not going to kill you. He's not going to just be a disaster back there. He's not going to read the defense and struggle. He's not going to step in there unable to, know the plays and just be a complete dumpster fire. So this was a security blanket going forward. And not to mention, you're not signing Brian Hoyer to cut him in training camp. You sign Brian Hoyer, he is going to be the backup, which means that now the only question is going to be, are you going to go with Stidham or are you going to draft a quarterback or bring someone in free agency? To me, it made no sense when you just drafted a quarterback last year to draft another quarterback this year. Another dead giveaway right in the draft, right in the first round, when Bill Belichick told you he's not drafting a quarterback. At 23 is what the Patriots were. And Jordan Love is still there. He's sitting there. Patriots really wanted a quarterback. They had enough draft picks to trade up. Or they could have sat there and drafted Jordan Love, a guy that, is a project, but great arm strength. Could be the next, he's mobile, which I think is a quarterback that Bill Belichick is looking for. He wants to upgrade it to the modern 2020 offense of a mobile, big arm, strong quarterback. So, Jordan Love is a guy that is a prototype for what quarterback should look like in 2020. He traded back. He traded back with the Chargers, didn't want to draft Jordan Love. Which leads to me, again, another dead giveaway. Jarrett Stidham is the guy. So there's never a question of, is Andy Dalton going to go there? Or there should be no surprise that Andy Dalton signs elsewhere. Jameis Winston signs elsewhere. Cam Newton is going to sign elsewhere. Right? As soon as we found out on Thursday's show that Andy Dalton was a free agent, what do we say? He's not going to New England. Now, there's a report that the Patriots are interested. We don't, we'll see that interest. We don't know if it was fully gauged interest or not, or if it was just more speculation that began. But all in all, the Cowboys ended up signing Dalton, so obviously we don't know if that interest was high enough. And for $3 million, you got to think, despite the Patriots being, very severely close to the cap, they could have made something work if they really wanted him to be the guy. So Jarrett Stidham's the guy in 2020. There's no doubt about it. Could we please stop at the charade and stop at the speculation and the questioning of who's going to be, the next quarterback going to New England? We know what it's going to be in 2020. It's going to be Jarrett Stidham. Now, 2021 is a whole new question. Like, that's going to play itself out on the field. And like I said, I think it's going to be a rough year for the Patriots in terms of, I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. It can go 8-8, 7-9, 9-7, somewhere in that range. I don't think they're going to win the division. But this is a recalibration year for Bill Belichick. This is a year where you draft a lot of, they had a ton of draft picks. Get those guys in the system and start to rebuild and reload for a future run where Bill Belichick hopes that it's another 20 years of dominance if he finds his guy. Jarrett Stidham could be the guy. But at least right now, 2020, he is going to be the guy. There's no doubt about that.